And this build will be on YouTube, and it will be on Outcast's site as well, with some more details there. Alright, so this is a new Stamsork build we've got for Murkmire. So I've made this one pretty much because I still wanted to move fast, but what I hate about Murkmire is everyone's move speed's very slow. Okay, higher end gameplay, you're seeing a lot of Ice Wardens, even just people back barn, wall of elements and ice staffs, and just everything's really slow. So between the hits to Swift trait on jewelry and immunity to root skills being nerfed, such as Forward Momentum, which is still a good skill, but it's only 4 seconds, we move towards something else, especially with the bow changes. Now, Draining Shot, right now, in Murkmire, its CC locks you up a little too long. But there's a few CCs like this. The Fighters Guild one, the chain one, I feel the same kind of delay there as well. Kind of like with Time Stop has a delayed break. So even though they reworked CCs, apparently in Murkmire, they did not rework CCs because they're still a little broken. So just an FYI. Now, even when Draining Shot is fixed and it's easier to break, this build will still actually be effective because it does not bank on the fact that the person gets stunned long. You could make a build, for example, where you kill the guy very fast after Draining Shot. Super bursty ones like a Warden or Nightblade could do that pretty easily. That's not entirely the goal here. It's very strong in the sense that they actually extended the range. Dual wield bow has always been good on Stamsork. I've run it a little bit. I've never made a build for it or posted one. It's always been fast. As long as you can afford to, because you can get your expedition out of the bow here. See the green behind me and the streaks? Okay, that's me. That's the roll dodge. We're getting that major expedition there. All right. So let's go through the gear real quick and everything that matters. By the way, this build is for non-CP. Okay, this is one of those builds that's for Battlegrounds and non-CP open world, which is primarily what I do. Not doing much CP builds. But this one really scales and is built for non-CP. It really is. Everything from the sets to enchants to everything about it. So, going through it, and I was going to change around some of the enchantments on the armor, but it turns out I was kind of happy where they're at. It is a medium armor build, so I'm in 5, maybe 6 medium. I'm in 6 medium with 1 heavy. I have a heavy hat. So I have a 2-piece Valken. And again, if you really want to see like the exact enchantments I have and the exact stats, that you can see in more detail on Outcast's site if you're not picking it up here. Because I do go through and I actually put the details on his site, which will be below the YouTube video as well. Get out of here. Alright. Because right now you're seeing this in a... Here, let me go into the non-CP campaign, and you can see the stats more clearly while we go through it, which makes sense. Because you want to have, like, you're not going to have a lot of high stam on this. You get that constantly. People are like, your stam's low, as if stam is the only thing that determines your damage, and it really isn't at all, especially in non-CP. There's a lot of things that factor in. Ultimately, this really pushes sustain, okay? That is a big key with this. I started out making a build with high sustain, and it turned out it was good on killing people without even really needing to slip much damage into it. Now, Valken I added for damage. All right, we're passing up something like Troll King here, which is very big, but it's worth it. It also gives us extra health, Valken. But it procs a lot because this build has a couple dots firing in it. All right, so 2-piece Valken, a heavy and a medium. The rest is going to be medium here. I have Red Mountain in here, which has great stats. Weapon damage, max stam, crit. Chance to proc the fire whenever we use a weapon ability. And we're going to be flooding weapon abilities a lot. Um, the other set I have is trappings. So basically, you're going, and trappings is a back bar set. So it's on the back bar with a bow. Now this set, if you can't get it from the dungeon, you have to farm this one from I think it's Dragon Bones, Scale Caller. I think it's from that dungeon. If you don't get that, you can put other things in here that proc on the back bar and be effective as well. I get targeted a lot in PvP for who I am. People see me, they target me. I prefer the extra sustain because of that. It helps keep me alive. And I can still close the kills. But you could put something else back here. I don't want to recommend Slodes, but boy, it'd work fine in here. Something like Briarheart, right? Something that procs a decent amount of time on the back bar. Again, I went sustain. Stats on this are very good, and for non-CP, stam sustain, it's very strong, invigorating. Stam recovery, max stam recovery. And when we're under 33%, this is basically the stam warlock set, okay? It's the warlock equal on the stam side. Because there's a Magicka set called Warlock, does the same thing. So this restores 9k stam. So this really helps you in those crunch moments, and I will show you in a gameplay video about that. Again, I'll post the enchantments on these armor. That's kind of mix and match from other builds I've done. So you'll see there's like, this thing has a tri-enchant on it, because I've used this in other builds. Some is max stam, some is max health. I'll give you the stats and everything. That I would go to Outcast site for, okay? Or you can see it here in the video as I scroll through it, because I have different ones on different parts. But it kind of works where my health and my stam is at. I like it. Only 22.4. You really have to be fast-paced with this build, but it is very fast-paced. Like, it is so fun. It's very fast-paced. You can maneuver around fights constantly. You can literally hover the edges, kind of like that's how I built Stamsork originally when I made it. You kind of can pivot around the fight and pick your fight and knock people out, get in and out. This does that very well. On the jewelry, I have infused reduced stam cost on all three. So what this does with medium is really lowers the cost of my skills a lot. Rending's at 833 cost, right? Tornado 1900. Like the cost of my skills is really low from stam. So where's the damage come from? Valken and Red Mountain paired up with dots. We have these poisons on the back bar. We have Master Dual Wield up front. We have an infused on both, weapon damage on one, and then the Restore Stam physical pen on the other. Okay. That is pretty much the gear in a nutshell there. For the Mundus, I'm using the Steed. So this is move speed and health recovery. So this is good for keeping us alive and surviving. The food we use is the Artaeum. Again, max health, max stam, and then more stam recovery and more health recovery. So this all goes very well with Orc, because Orc gets a passive to move speed and sprint speed, and its cost. Same with medium. That paired up with Steed, plus the health recovery from both of these, gets built up by the Orc passive as well. So this all works very well together. All points in the stam here. Okay. So that's pretty much the equipment in a nutshell. Oh yeah, people always want to know the motif. They say you're looking damn good. Here's the motif. All right, here's your colors. General's gold, and the black and the white. All right, this is a crown store chest and girdle. Telvanni boots, Malakath greaves, Yokuden gauntlets, and the silken ring pauldrons. All right, the Skyforged Smith Hammer's not easy to get. All right, that's a crafting achievement. Molag Kina sword and a Kina bow. The melee actually looks nice. It kind of matches that Stamsork theme. Once you buff up crit surge, there's lightning everywhere. All right. As far as skills, let's go through them real quick. And pots we use. The pots that I've come to really like on this are the immovable health stam pots. All right, they give me the ability to have a burst heal, while still giving me the regen too, and for stam as well. These are awesome. You can also use tripods, but I found these to pay off more for the most part. Right here, we have Rending Slashes, Move Speed, Reduction Morph here. We have Streak, Steel Tornado, Crit Surge, Crushing Weapon. This is from the Psijic skill line. We also have Psijic skill on both bars. So we get to use this shield with as low health as you have when you're disengaging and there's a lot of range hitting you. You can, you know, block and streak out of a fight, then like roll dodge. You'll get behind something and start healing up. People start chasing you. You come back around the corner firing at them. Alright, you'll see that play style in this. And if you really want to learn how this works, I'd recommend watching some of the gameplay on this build. Crushing Weapon you can also put up at the front end of your combo. It lasts for 2 seconds and it will refund if you don't use it. But for example, I'm coming in on a target, Crushing Weapon, I'm going to come in and hit him with a bow, and it's going to proc the Crushing Weapon on the front end. As well as, I'll show you pretty much your engagement style. It takes a little getting used to, but it makes a lot of sense when you see it unfold. Ideally, you have a target you're coming in on, light attack, and then poison inject. Then another, so that's your first move. What you're going to follow it up with is a light attack, and then the stun, draining shot, right? And then you're closing the distance to come in, either do like a heavy rending, or maybe a light rending. If he was pretty close and he was right here and you hit him, you can just do a light rending. But a big part of that combo is you do light and poison inject, roll dodge, and then do light and draining shot. And what that does, this is at a targeted range. So light, poison inject, come in, light, stun, and now I have the move speed buff, because in between the first set of skills, I did a roll dodge to get that little boost to close in and get in on the target. Because you don't have a gap closer, so use your move speed wisely. Steel Tornado obviously is going to be our closer. For people that are not dying quickly, I'm weaving Crushing Weapon at times. Unless they're very low health, then I'll Steel Tornado weave them. But I do that with Bash. So this is a light attack, Crushing Weapon, Bash. And I can show some of that. I should get a mob. I usually show my combos on some mobs. So let me find you a mob real quick to do that. Just demonstrate what I just talked about doing right there. Damage over time is dot. Yes, confirmed. Does Bash activate Crushing Weapon? It does not. It's only activated by light attacks. So if you pop Crushing Weapon and do a heavy attack, it will not use Crushing Weapon. It will refund at that point. So it's a cost-effective skill to toss in. But anyway, the opening combo again is going to be a light poison, and then you'll see me roll dodge right after. See? I did both of them. I did light and poison right there, followed up with a light and stun, and then I'm gonna get, you know, get busy on it there. As far as the melee weave goes, say I've already hit the target, right, and I'm on him, and he's high health, then what I would do is light, and I've already applied. You want to apply your dots, because your dots is what keeps the sets procking and rolling here. This thing's just already died. It doesn't even matter. Hang on, let me find something with. So this is light, Crushing Weapon, and Bash weave. You can see how effective it can be here. It looks weird, but that's what's happening. It's light attack, Crushing Weapon, Bash, and it's expensive because stem gets spent when you're bashing. But with all this going, it allows you to put out really high pressure, and you're gonna get your stam back because you have a lot of regen here. You come in, I put my dots, and I can light, you know, weave and stuff. So the way you're gonna get back, you know, you're gonna dark deal in between. You don't have to heavy attack as much because you really have a lot of stam flowing. You can disengage from fights and find time and targets to take out, and you'll see people that don't keep their defenses up will die very fast against this. Alright. Again, I would recommend watching some gameplay of it if you really want to see what it's capable of. I will show one fight. I'm just picking something out. I don't know how it is. We'll see. But I can at least talk about, what's going on with a little more detail. So let's roll through that real quick. All right. Double Fang Rush action. I'm going to keep me muted, but I will talk. Double Fang time, that's right. So this looks like a normal Battleground match, too. And again, a lot of Battlegrounds I face at higher MMR. I see a lot of Ice Wardens. I don't know if we'll have one in here. I'm usually short-handed. This is a great build where you don't have to rely on your team entirely to just be able to go in and play and have fun. So I'm opening up with stuns there. Anytime someone is not stunned, you want to stun them too. So like right at the start of the fight there, I didn't intend to kill either of those first two. Because once you commit early in the fight, the other team flanks you and kills you. What I did want to do is hit them with stuns and get their stam to not be full. I want to put their CC on cooldown. I want to start burning their stam. You have to work people's resources down. And if you get in a resource battle with people with a build like